Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
What time is it?
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Now Myers to win the league, yes!
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Well, hello and welcome to the Below the Rim show, a show dedicated to the BBL. It's me, Pabs. I'm joined, as always, by my main man, Ads. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. Tired. It's been a long weekend. I seem to have been in Yorkshire and beyond all weekend.
Doing some basketball-related activities, no less?
Coaching, of course. My Mystics 3 beat Hartlepool, and my daughter's Mystics 2 team overhaul. No, wait a minute. I'm so tired, I don't even know what I'm doing. Who did we beat? My Mystics 3 team.
It'll be a good show, Ad.
My Mystics 3 team beat Leeds.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter's Mystics 2 team beat Hartlepool. I don't even know where Hartlepool is. I've got an idea where it is. I don't think it's Yorkshire, though.
I'd hope so if you went there.
Well, that voice you hear there is the voice of the media guru, Mr. Paul Nicholson. How are you, sir?
I'm in a good mood, you know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You'd have to be wearing that jumper.
Nicholson in his Christmas jumper. And, of course, north of the border, the brave-hearted Mr. Grant Young. How are you, sir?
All right, guys. I'm pretty tired too, but not from travelling to Hartlepool.
Birthday celebrations for you?
Yeah, my wee girl turns 5 this week, so she doesn't listen. I put this on sometimes in the car if I missed it, like last week. She's like, "Dad, turn them off."
Yeah, it's like most people in the UK, I imagine.
You would rather listen to some sort of Frozen soundtrack or something in the car than Ash talk about Taj Green's dunk, or
I think I would as well.
About his love
Yeah,
for
my wife's the
LVC.
same, yeah.
Oh, I only had 3 hours sleep last night because my little girl's got scarlet fever. Hooray!
Oh.
Yeah. She's doing all right though. She's good. We've got the old antibiotics on it. Right, we're going to start off very briefly with a little bit of a roundup of what happened. Well, since last Wednesday, which feels like 2 weeks ago, not just a week ago.
Did you guys miss me last week?
Yes, we did.
Terribly.
He's at work, weren't he? Busy boy.
I need to earn some dollars sometimes.
Yeah. We've also got some questions. We're going to hit the questions from the listeners, which should be exciting.
Was there pools that needed attending to, Grant?
And that wasn't last week, but honestly, man, sometimes I just forget my day job's a tennis coach when I'm looking at pool stuff and just think, what the hell's going on? Why am I doing this?
Check the levels. You could lose a layer of skin.
Hey, gotta make sure the chlorine's safe.
Yeah.
You're a tennis coach? I didn't know you were a tennis coach.
I worked a bit of a dab hand and everything.
Oh, I thought you were just checking the pH level in swimming pools.
Oh, no, that's just the side hustle.
I feel more and more connected to Grant. I'm a level 1 tennis coach, so there you go.
Really?
Any
Yeah.
conversation, I've checked pool levels before.
So have I.
Well,
Well,
I'm so fucking cool. I've not done any of that shit.
I've just been in a swimming pool.
Yeah, I've been in a swimming pool, and
He's
The water jumped out.
He's the reason the chlorine had to be raised.
exactly.
Good.
Good one.
That's a good start. All right, here we
Good
go.
old basketball podcast, eh?
Let's. So, I mean, the things to take away from going back to the 7th of December, 2 wins for the Patriots, lifting them to 4th in the table, 7-6 record. Flyers get the win. We expected them to get over the Scorchers. However, Scorchers look as though they're not too far away from organising their troops in a manner that could cause some teams some problems. And I was lucky enough to speak to Lloyd Gardner ahead of the game, and he said they've got that kind of pre-season feel to them. They're still working some things out, and they take inspiration from what the Patriots did last season in terms of making a run for the playoffs and proving that it's kind of possible. It's whether or not the rest of the league is in a stage where they're there's going to be enough teams that are going to drop enough points. Because right now,
two very different scenarios.
Right now, when you look at, take from what LVC Dusha said in his BBL interview, is that this is a league where, on its day, any team can beat anybody, which is a terrifying league to play, and it's incredibly exciting. And we're kind of getting an evidence of that. But fellas, I mean, Riders got the win over Gladiators, which I was shocked about. I honestly thought with the Gladiators run of late that they would be able to cause some problems there. And then obviously Gladiators turned that around and beat the Eagles, who, I mean, they made a game of it, let's be honest. And then Cheshire Phoenix lost to the Lions, which we all expected. And we'll talk about not Lions, we'll talk about the Phoenix social media. What do we call it? Marketing ploy? I don't know what we'd call it, where they basically listed viable attractions from the other team as if to say, come and watch these guys. But we'll all have an opinion on that, I'm sure. We'll get to that. Anything to say on what happened? Any games in particular? Well, obviously, we'll talk BTR 5 later on, so standout performances we can cover with that one. But anything you want to say about the games that have taken place and the league as it stands right now? Grant, my man.
I'm just glad that Plymouth beat Sheffield last night. I feel that was a win for entertaining basketball. So, as two Plymouth representatives on here, thank you, Paul. Thank you, pals. And hey, great comms. You guys have done some job. You guys have been the busiest guys in the league this week.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Hey, they're making me sweat now.
Your mate at work, Pab's giving you that shift swap. What a guy. Can't believe you didn't name drop him. You just said, I
always forget his name. It's Ant, bless him. But I've got him tickets before. It's Ant who came before with his little lad who lives out Plymstock way. But I'll try and get him some more tickets for that swap. Yeah, it was good. Good on him. Might not save some people's ears. I'm sure people would rather I wasn't there.
There were some good games though this week, right? There were some good games.
Yeah.
There's some definite talking points.
Well, the Sheffield Sharks game, I mean, it's low scoring, obviously. Half-time, what was it, 32-28, something like that? But it wasn't. It didn't feel like that kind of game. It's still exciting.
Low scoring. It's no surprise, is it? But
it was exciting still. It was
In fairness, the second half was a much better watch.
Yes.
The second half was good.
Yes.
Far more points scored. I thought I dropped a bollock on that one. I thought somebody tweeted, I forget who it is and I apologise, somebody tweeted, Sheffield Sharks sucking the life out of the BBL, not a good look, and then tagged me. And I thought, shit, did I say that? Did I say that on the broadcast? I'm thinking, oh my God, I ramble, I talk bollocks a lot. So I tweeted back and he's like, no, it's my statement. I was like, oh, thank Christ for that.
You just thought he would let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that tweet and I thought, we don't want to become that podcast that just hates on Sheffield all the time.
Says the man who said last week that they were fucking boring.
Well, I was about to come up with some other smarmy comments about Sheffield in the past, but nah.
Well, they're in a tight. I would say they're in a tight spot, aren't they? They're a couple of men down. Bennett Cook is a big loss. Obviously, we know Saeed Nelson's been out for a couple of years. And the most exciting
player, Nelson's not there, is he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was going to be tough for him. Yeah.
But at the same time, we've all been there, right? We've all been there with low rosters, as far as I know we have for sure, with injuries and everything else. And sometimes you got to dig deep, and it is what it is. The Leicester Caledonia game surprised me. Sorry, Grant, but man,
me too.
I put Leicester to win, but
I think that was one of those games where nobody's turned up. Like, nobody. It was one of those ones as well where Leicester got on a roll. Pat Whelan was unbelievable. Probably his best game of the season.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. Mark Loving probably had something to prove, having been massively outshined by Jeremiah Bailey. Jeremiah Bailey had a nightmare of a game. David Sloan's not found his game. Jordan Burns didn't find his game, and he got nothing from Ali Fraser or Patrick Tapes. You're talking about 4 or 5 guys who haven't shown up, and it's bad when from a team when you've got 5 imports and your most top scorer for your team is. I know we love Fraser Malcolm on this podcast, but when you've got that amount of players, 5 imports, you don't expect Fraser Malcolm to be your top point scorer. So I think that's one that
fair.
Swiftly be forgotten about, and probably the close win against Newcastle on Sunday, where until the final 6 minutes, Gladiators hadn't turned up for that either.
It could have been a very rough weekend for the Gladiators, very easily.
Well, I put it in our group chat. That's when I put and breathe.
Got away with one there, yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. But good teams win ugly, don't they? And that's
gotcha.
And Newcastle can't get a win. No. Newcastle can't get anything, and that'll be one they'll be saying like, we should have won that game. But
they've
had 10 imports this season.
That's crazy.
I went through. I was looking on. I think it was Real GM. I counted all the Americans they've had. That
was you that posted that in our group chat, isn't it? I saw that.
10 imports, like
crazy.
Yeah, that's mental. And surely that. I'm sure there used to be a rule. I'm not sure if that exists now with the 5 import rule, but I'm sure you used to only be able to like have 8 across the season or whatever. But 10, and we're not even at Christmas.
Well, that's insane. That is, yeah.
London dominated. I know the final scoreline doesn't say domination, but they dominated that game as well.
Josh Sharma just continually just gets better in this league. I thought at first he was like, he's just a backup big, but he's so much more than that. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he was really, really impressive. Surrey, obviously they got 2 losses, but it looked like they could get better. I think their only issue is now they've got too many pieces.
Yeah, because when you said that earlier, I had a look because I hadn't properly watched them too in depth. All their guys against you basically all played 20 minutes. They're not London. They can't be doing that.
And yeah, it's the same. The Surrey team that played Bristol. Like as soon as one guy gets going, they take him off to keep someone else happy. Then he gets
a bit weird, didn't it? Yeah.
It was quite strange, if I'm honest with you, because they look better. They've got better pieces now. Their injured players are back, and they're going to pick up a win eventually. It's going to happen. Lucky enough that the banana skin wasn't on us.
And I suppose that's what happened last season. We were all joking, they won't win a game. We said on this they're not going to win. Then they beat the Rocks.
Yes, yes, they did.
We all looked stupid, but they're going to win games. They're good. They're a good team. They've got great players. Imports are better. Andrew Lawrence instantly makes them better.
And he's playing more and more minutes now as well.
Yeah. He had 20 plus against.
He just changes their team completely as well, doesn't he? He's so effective.
There was just a point in that game where I just saw him. It was near the end. Maybe it was near the end of maybe in that second quarter, and they didn't score off it. But you just saw how he got the ball and he totally just changed the play. He was like, "You get in the corner, you give me the screen." And he just runs the team much better.
Yeah, injuries are gonna take its toll on you, but one thing that isn't going to change is his mentality and the way he thinks as a player.
Yeah.
We'll have a brief look at the league table, but before we do that, I just want to give a shout out to Joe Hart. I used Joe Hart for the paper this week. I normally try and grab PJ. And I was lucky enough to interview PJ before the game for the broadcast, which went out. So I thought I'll grab Joe because Joe is really vocal now. He's on his feet. He's got the clipboard. He's up there and instructing and helping subs and insisting PJ does this, that, or the other. You can kind of see he's got a real passion for it, and he seems very, very good at it as well. But I thought, well, I'll get his words on it. And in terms of injuries, I know the Surrey Scorchers have had their injury issues. Obviously, they were the opposition on Sunday night, which is specifically what I'm talking about. But Joe said that game Sunday for the Patriots was the first time they've not had an injury, but he forgot about himself.
He's out for the whole season.
He's like, we've got no one out. So it's the first time we've had no one out for a long time. Troy's on limited minutes, but first time I was like, "What? You're forgetting someone there?" He goes, "No, they're all in. What about you, Joe?" He goes, "Oh, I am me."
To be fair, he's doing a really good job at coaching, a really good job. And
the guys responding to him.
Yes, they are very much so.
Yeah,
he's at every training session. He's running through plays and sets. He's in the scout. He was in a morning meeting today with PJ. He's fully invested as an assistant coach with PJ right now.
That's class.
And he's doing a very good job at it as well.
And especially if some of the guys have been teammates with him, it's probably also more the imports as well. Guys like Antonio, guys who have been his teammate or respect him as a coach as well. That's huge. That tells you the impact he's having.
Yeah, I've worked with different coaches and things like that, and I think one thing players respond to is the truth. Yeah, and the proof's in the pudding type situation. So if the first thing that comes out of Joe Hart's mouth is just a load of nonsense,
they're not going to listen. Yeah.
But when he talks, he talks sense because he's been on the court, and he's, when we're running through opposition team scouts, Joe's a big part of that as well. So he's fully invested in that.
Yeah, good on him. Let's have a quick look at the league table, fellas. Any shocks there? We've got 3 teams tied at the top spot on 18 points apiece. London Lions, Bristol Flyers, Leicester Riders. Then we've got 3 teams tied on 14 points. Plymouth City Patriots, Sheffield Sharks, and the Cheshire Phoenix. Gladiators then on 12. Giants on 10 have slipped right down, but to be fair, they've not played a game for a little while. Eagles and Scorchers propping up the table. Any shocks there, first of all?
The league table, I always look at how many games lost. I think I don't always go by points. And I think it tells you that your top 3 teams, London, Bristol, Riders, are quite far ahead. You've then got to say at the moment, Manchester and the rest of the teams, bar Newcastle and Surrey, are in this kind of midfield battle. And the bottom 2 are probably likely to be the bottom 2, give or take a massive turnaround. Cheshire may drop because they've played the most games and they're 7 and 8, but I think it's quite an exciting league table from kind of place 4 down, or maybe even 3, or even 2 down. But yeah, there's a massive midfield battle.
Manchester interests me. Yeah. I think.
Well, it feels like Giants haven't played for about 3 years.
But the problem is now they've got a 2-week break and then played us, and then another, and then 2 games that weekend, and none this weekend.
If you look at their upcoming fixtures, it ain't going to get any easier for them, though.
Well, they've got the next game's Friday, and it's Sheffield away.
You've got Sheffield, Leicester, Cheshire, and then Caledonia.
No, we've got Eagles in there as well.
Have you?
Yeah,
I missed that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not uncommon for us to make comments like this, and then Giants go and win all of them.
Sorry, they got Eagles.
Maybe go 4-1, but
let me break it down. Sheffield. So we're looking at a game with a scoreline of probably bloody 49-48 or something.
Defense against offense.
But then saying that the last game against Sheffield was awesome.
That was the overtime, the double overtime.
The double overtime, yeah. So. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of an attempt at redemption there from Sheffield. But, I mean, the other ones, Newcastle, not too bothered about that one. Cheshire, always a banana peel. It's the big local derby, yada, yada, yada. Cheshire can do good things when they want to. Leicester, that's a tough game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I'm looking at the table going, well, yeah, there's been a bit of up and down movement, but when you look at the amount of games Giants have got to catch up with, I fancy them for at least 3 out of 5 of those games.
5 games behind, some of those behind Cheshire, for example.
Yeah. So if they pick up 3 wins out of those 5, and I mean they could potentially get 4 of them. It'd be interesting seeing what happens against Leicester. But yeah, the record, the last 5 games, they're 1-4. You know what I mean? It's not been pretty, and obviously, nobody really knows how long it is before William Lee comes back.
I guess the longer you guys don't play, the better it is, or the more chance there is that he'll play more fixtures.
Well, there's that. Plus, as well, the fact that they haven't played as many games means, well, hopefully, they're going to be about the fittest team in the league right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's going to be interesting though is Bristol. They got London next. Okay. After that, they got London again.
Double header.
Yeah. Then they've got Surrey, which they should pick up a win there, and then they got Plymouth. So those 2 games against London, that's going to be a momentum swinger either way, right? So if they get something out of that game, they're going to be a really rolling then, aren't they?
Is this all before the 28th?
Yeah, they got London, Surrey, Plymouth.
That's a heavy schedule for them.
Yeah, and Surrey's away, Plymouth's away. One of the Londons is obviously away. They're going to get their away games coming up now.
I was going to say they've got some away games coming up, and we're trying to avoid talking about the Flyers. Are they legit? But yeah, go on. Yeah,
two games on the bounce against London.
There's one of them the cup game. There's one of them the cup game.
It's a good question.
Possibly because they've got to get those out of the way, haven't they?
Yes, one is. Yeah, so I think home game for the cup.
How do we just quickly? While you mentioned the cup, how do we fancy a BTR road trip to Birmingham?
Of course.
Because I've not made the cup since the Bears won it, and that was at Birmingham. That was years ago.
No,
like 2003.
I'll have to check the date in the diary and all that sort of stuff.
29th of something. 29th of January, isn't it?
Something like that,
Which I think is
a GoFundMe page for everyone.
I think it's my I think it's my long weekend, so I'm and I might bring the wife. We might make a weekend of it in Birmingham.
That might be my way around it. To be fair,
yeah, we can go. We can double date everywhere. Hooray!
You old romantic.
Yeah.
Love, I've got a really good idea for a romantic weekend. Oh, yeah, where are we going? Birmingham. Oh,
Dunlop Village.
Yeah. What are we doing? We're going to the BBL Cup final.
I'm going to the basketball. You're going to go hang out with someone else's wife.
Oh no, I was gonna put her on the list and get her just to hold the camera. It was BTR crew.
Yeah.
Film sound technician.
If I'm free, I'll be up for it.
Right.
I've done it the day before, so I'd happily go as well.
Game on. Right, this could. We'll keep an eye on that then.
If I'm free, I'll go to it. What if you're in the final?
That's true.
You can be.
Are you out?
No, who? Who you talking to? It's me.
Yeah, not me.
Oh, Nicholas.
Yeah, we're out.
The Plymouth are out.
Yeah,
it was a curveball. Don't worry about
it. It's change up. There we go. All right, fellas. Let's before we hit the questions, let's talk about the two topics social media related. Let's talk about the Cheshire Phoenix first. It happened during last week, I believe. A social media post by their page that stated that Sam Decker, ex-NBA player, is coming to Cheshire. Costa Koufos, ex-NBA player, is coming to Cheshire. Ovi Soko, the guy from Love Island, is also coming to Cheshire. Who was the other one?
Their new player.
Go on.
Did you not see that? What's his name in the graphic? Their new guy, not the latest new guy.
I cannot remember. It's
the other NBA guy.
Another ex-NBA. Anyway, that was...
Yeah, but then they changed it. So
the best his name is Vipo. The best subject to injury.
Subject to injury.
They had 4 guys on it.
I forgot that.
This is the best bit about it. They had 4 guys on it. Then they this isn't a dig, right? This isn't a dig. They had 4 guys on it. Then
yes, it is.
3 guys. No, it's not a dig. It's not a dig. We make mistakes on media stuff. I do a lot, right? They had one with 4 guys on. Then they had one with 3 guys on. Then they deleted a load of comments because people were like having a bit of a dig at them.
I didn't see the comments. What were the comments?
Oh, there was a few comments where people were like having a bit of a pop at what they'd done, and all of a sudden, next time, what happened? Those comments have disappeared. It's like,
what? Who was commenting? Oh, can we name names, or is that going to be?
No.
Is it the usual BBL guard, or is it?
Yeah, but you know what? That's people's opinion, and it's going to happen.
It is opinion. What do we think of it? Go on. You're already talking about it, Nicholson.
Okay. Each to their own. I don't like it. That's fun. If it works for them, cool. Go for it. Do your thing. I don't like it personally. And the reason I don't like it is not because of what they're trying to achieve. I understand what they're trying to achieve is bring people into the game because there's some exciting players in town. I get that. They've also got exciting players. Okay, they've got a gold medalist, DB International. But the way it was done is not the way I would do it, let's say. I would potentially, if it was me, I would potentially say, come check out LVC Dusha versus
make it head to head.
Example, like a head to head, do a statistical thing or whatever, right? And do it that way.
Get your own guys in it as well, yeah.
Yeah, and that way there you're bigging up your own guys, and what you're not doing is you're not going in and saying, "Hey, come see the superstars." Because if I turn around and say, "Come see the superstars," I'm going to go down the training the next day. VC Dusha is going to slap me around the face and say, "Hey, man, I'm your superstar."
Antonio Williams will choke you out,
right? But what I'm like, but that's because I know what my guys are like, and I know what I like, and I know what BJ likes, and our organization likes it. But if that's what they want to do, and if it worked for them, I don't know. I didn't see the crowd. If it got some bums on seats, cool, good for them. Yeah. Great. Not for me. It's just not for me.
Grant?
It could have worked so well. And I think they then kind of threw it back with, London had done us in the past where we had Paul Sturgis. And it's like, yeah, but they still mentioned their own player. And it was just like, it's not tick for tack, is it? Come on. See if they just threw in a couple of their own guys. See if they'd done it and I think, Paul, you've touched on it elsewhere. See if you're going to do that. Promote it out with your normal reach. If you're talking about Sam Decker I think it was maybe yourself and Josh going back and forth on this one. Oh, yeah. And I was with you on this, going with, well, if you're going to do that and there's a whole basketball community not being tapped, pay to reach them. You're not going to reach them if they don't follow you.
Sorry, Carl, I'm just going to, you've sparked something which I didn't mention before, is, knock it back my way, mate, is the fact that they had to explain it. If they have to explain why they've done it, it's something's gone wrong, right? It's like if you do it, you own that shit, right? You own it. And if you make a mistake, you own it. But what I was saying was the logical step of, if you made that a paid promotion, a paid social media post, use multiple hashtags, hashtag NBA, hashtag watch NBA, hashtag blah, 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 right? Then it outreaches to a bigger audience. But if you don't do that stuff, it only outreaches to what you've already got. And what you've already got know London. They already know that London's coming to town. And it sparked a debate on social media, and everyone says, see, it worked. No, it sparked a debate between the people who already follow Cheshire. It didn't spark a debate between a future guy who's going to come down and watch a game. Right? You know what I mean? But if it worked for them, I don't know. Proof's in the pudding, right? Yeah.
Ads, my man. What do you make of it, Ads?
I thought it was whack.
Whack.
I mean,
that's all. That's it.
It was bad enough. Well, I mean, I was at a GB game when Ovi had just come off that stupid TV show, and I've talked about this before. And the person that really, really didn't want to be there because of that was Ovi.
Oh, yeah.
And when I talked to him after the game, I could see how uncomfortable he was, because it literally was, hundreds of people that had come off the back of a TV show. I know that it's that whole, but we might have kept 2 fans there. Nah, not the fans that I saw. They were there for one thing only, to see Ovi. And it's a bit, for me, it's a bit played out, because it's like, you know what I mean? Love out of woof. I'd have gone at it like you were saying there, something along the lines of, I don't know. There are no islands around the port, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like just or
slightly confrontational.
Yeah, something a bit trash talky. You know what I mean? And then with the NBA guys, again, I kind of get it, but are they?
No, I think what
it's not NBA guys that people would necessarily will have heard of.
No, you got to go deep, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, these guys are superstars here, but they weren't superstars in the NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like if Chris.
I still think it's a good promotion, right? I would hope more people will come to Plymouth and London, because if they are like,
but do it if you're London. If you're London, do it till the cows come home. Advertise that you have got NBA players and that. At the Ovi thing, if you said to Ovi Soko, can we put this on a poster if you're London or whatever, I bet you'd say no.
He'd have hated that.
I am Ovi Soko.
GB basketball,
international player,
European player,
successful European player, successful player in Asia. I am not Ovi Soko off Love Island.
Yeah, I get that. I think it's just, I don't know. It just.
I enjoyed the fallout.
Did it work? Did it work? Do we know if?
Well, it's hard to tell because they sell out most games, or they appear to sell out most games. So, whether that got some different people there, like you say, if that's only gone out to the fans they've already got, there's a chance maybe it reached one or two. Would they have been able to get a ticket anyway?
I kept seeing people argue it on social media and saying, "Oh, NBA teams do it all the time." And I'm looking, and I follow all the NBA teams, and I'm like, no. In the 90s they did.
Yeah, they did, but that was because MJ was coming to town. Like that was the big
90s,
sell.
Lots of things happened that don't happen now. Go back to the 70s, a lot more things happened then that don't happen now.
Go back to the 80s, cocaine was massive.
It was the right thing.
But my initial thought on it.
Grant, 1 minute.
Oh, go on, Grant. Yeah.
I was just saying how long was left, but I just think it's mental. Like I legit think it's mental. If you've got to justify it, it's not a good strategy.
Yeah.
If it could have been better executed, brilliant.
We'll wrap this one up.
I just think if they executed it better, it's brilliant.
But
get your two guys on it, Larry Austin, whatever. Go for it.
My initial thought when they did it was, I immediately thought damage limitation. They're showing these guys are coming to town, probably not going to win. That was my initial thought. That's what I thought. That's why they did it. These guys are coming. Don't expect us to win, but come along and watch anyway, kind of thing. But I didn't, and to a degree, what they put out there, it's free. It's free on Twitter if you don't, you don't do a paid thing. So
I hope it works for them.
I didn't dislike it. I thought it was a bit tongue in cheek. I thought it was honestly initially. I thought there's some sarcasm behind it. I didn't think it was that serious, but. Who knows?
I've just messaged my friend who was at the game and has been posting pictures of herself with Ovi Soko all day to find out what the crowd was like. So, but no. To be fair to her, she's a big Hoops fan, and they go to Giants games, Sheffield games, and Cheshire games, so they're fans. So yeah,
all right.
In fact, as we speak, I have had a message come through. Shout out to my buddy Nicola Welsh and Shan, who are big fans. She said, it was pretty much packed out, but they half filled their stands with kids from the basketball camp beforehand. So, it was packed out. It's not a massive gym. And I think what she's saying there is that they have camps on before the game. And parties and stuff, so a lot of kids stick around to watch the game. So whether it was
still with paying seats, happy days.
Yeah, but was it because of that poster? Who knows? Who knows? All I'm saying is just trash it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Keep it trashy.
Good. Right, fellas, we need to move on to the second area of Twitter. LVC Douche's tweet, I can see Nicholson's got his head in his hands already. LVC Douche's tweet today, as we record this, obviously it's Monday, so if you're listening to this, it would have been yesterday. But and if you're listening to it later on in the week, it would have been fun. Anyway, forget that. LVC tweeted something which was a little bit. I don't know how we're going to term this now. It made me laugh. I'll put it that way straight away.
Something happened at the game.
Yes. But we can't specifically say who he was tweeting about, but the tweet was basically, imagine being 1 and 10 and talking shit emoji, laugh my ass off. Sorry, Scorchers, tell your new baby import to stay in his lane. Which sparked a response from Josh Steele.
Has certain new Surrey player not replied to this afternoon? Yeah, okay.
Has he?
Yeah.
So who was it?
Jefferson.
It was Jefferson, because Jefferson was the one that had a bit of an altercation with Troy Simons. Words were exchanged. They both got teched up. That it was verbal more than anything else, although there was a couple of raised hands. And I tell you what, actually, what Jefferson does very well is he'll nonchalantly have his hand up, pointy finger, and he'll hang it around by your face. and obviously the reaction is to knock it away, which is what happened. And Grant, my man, you seem to have the tweet there. Read it out.
You seem to enjoy yourself.
Come on, read it out.
There's been more added since I've seen this earlier.
Come on, fill us in.
Oh. It's just when you've got guys like Martel McLemore going sheesh.
The thing is,
Dave Value with the gif of the guy sitting eating popcorn.
The LVC gets on with Josh Steele. He gets on with McLemore.
Yeah, that seemed like light banter.
That's fine. Obviously, Jefferson wasn't too impressed. He said, "Why didn't you send me a DM?" and called LVC an old man.
The youngest veteran in the league. He's 28.
LVC replied, calling him kid, and
youngin calls him youngin too.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm going to read it out.
Go on, we need someone to.
LVC's got love.
It's as nice as I'll laughing myself. You for sure got me wrong, kid. You're asked to do something before you go around talking shit. He's not using emoji, Nicholson. In your respect, pretty boy, I wouldn't mention you if I wanted likes, youngin. Nobody even know you like that. Oh, talk that trash, douche.
That's
we
exciting.
need more of this.
And Jefferson's put underneath, you could have DM'd me this.
That's the sort of thing I'd have put.
So, Josh Jefferson.
Yeah, he had a good shooting night. He kept them in it.
Is he one of their Americans?
Yes, he's very good. He's a very good player.
But see, this could be one of those classic things if sometimes the British sense of humour. I mean, obviously, LVC's of Albanian heritage.
Well, he gets on really well with Surrey as well as an organisation. He does workouts up there and everything.
You can kind of, I've not met LVC in the flesh as such, but we had that amazing podcast with him all night, and he's a dude, and you can sort of hear how he'd have said it and how he's saying the response. So it's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of transatlantic sort of misinterpretation of tone there. But certainly, when I read the tweet, it made me laugh a lot. It really did. Because I've said it before, I love it when players talk trash on Twitter.
I think as long as, in that situation, right, for me, because there's a fine line for me, obviously, especially media manager at Patriots, is a fine line between when I say to this player, take that down, or okay, chill now, and no one's insulted anybody. I don't
know. He called him old. I'd find that insulting.
He is old, don't he? He's 28.
He's 28.
Younger than me, I know. We all call him the youngest veteran in the BBL, don't we?
He is 100%.
No one's insulted anyone. No one's kind of overstepped the boundaries here. Someone said, "Don't talk trash to me. You're lost." He said,
and when you're 1-10 as well.
Pretty much trash talking back to me. He said, "Send me a DM, please, old man." Like something like that.
It was the bit he then said that LVC said back to Drew Lasker, saying, LMAO, low-key 28-bit old, I just don't look it, thank God, and I ain't really want to act Sonny like that at all. I got a lot of love for that organisation. I'm not even trying to be on socials like that no more. I'm old now.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it, though. It was
that was a good few hours of BBL social media for us all, so...
They might have to watch those two when they play again, though. That could be interesting. Little battle.
With all due respect, I think that's only one winner in that battle when it comes to the Basel side.
Neither of them are going to step down in that situation. We saw Jefferson just going for hell for leather in that game, and Dusha just kind of, like he always does, just cruises through the game. No problems. Yeah.
10-year veteran, he'll just play the game.
Exciting stuff. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that as things. As the season unfolds.
Maybe I'll screenshot it to sell more tickets. I knew this would come back around.
Do a poster featuring LVC Dusha.
Jefferson.
He was once on the Below the Rim podcast and talked trash to Jefferson.
I tell you what I did do, though, and it's probably a bit naughty of me, and it was subtle, though. It's straight after that tweet. If you look on the Patriots' next Twitter post, it's me tweeting Bell blocking Josh.
Yeah.
Pinning him against the glass. And it was like,
well, now we know.
That was just my way of just kind of backing my own,
Good work, sir. Good work. Right.
Yeah, the voice of the authority in the office there, who tells people when to take things off and leave them.
Very passive aggressive.
Yeah. That's it. I'm going to post a picture of me blocking you out, Nicholson. On social media, not in real life, with a block on a basketball court.
Right, chaps, let's move to the questions before we do BTL5, and then obviously predictions as well. Although I might get the predictions page open, ready, start totaling up. We've got some questions from the fans, from the listeners. We'll get through some.
Can I just say how much I enjoyed your 3-point shootout?
No, don't.
But no. 2 or 3 things. 1, Paul, how long did you plan your walkout to be?
Mate, that was a legit WrestleMania walkout.
It was brilliant. And the way I just like the Pabs is just like, all right, I'm here, got my bag.
That's literally how Pabs walked in as well.
Hey, Pabs, good shooting form.
Yeah, well, it's not bad. I could have played for Stanford. I never talk about it.
Did I miss this? What's this?
So let me bring you back. So in the Sheffield game,
we can't draw. Yeah.
So Grant, we mentioned that Sheffield were only shooting 20% from the free line, and smart ass in the corner over there, Grant says, "Oh, but you can't shoot 20%."
No, I said you guys probably could.
So me and Pab said, "All right, next game we're going to do a 3-point contest before the game, record it, film it, and then we're going to play it at halftime." So I spoke to the BBL, spoke to the TV guys. They're like, yeah, cool, we're down with that. And so we did it. We did a 3-point shootout. We both did a walk-in video, took 10 shots each, and played it at halftime.
First time I've shot a ball for over a year.
This is some good traffic on socials in terms of people talking about things. It's brilliant.
We need to throw the gauntlet down between each other then.
If we do it again, can we do it with proper basketball?
Yeah, that was dog shit.
Like a plasticky one.
We all got to shoot 3-pointers and send them in, and then we find out who's the best 3-point shooter.
It's got to be one take, though, right?
It's got to be one take. So Grant has to do it in Caledonia.
Wait. How about we approach the BBL and have the halftime shootout at the cup?
Yes, yeah. Hey, I've got an idea, Mr. 777. We've had a marketing idea here. Instead of this dunk contest nonsense that you keep doing, me and the guys from Below the Rim want to have a halftime shootout.
2,000 people in the arena going, who the fuck are these for?
Yeah, if LVC douche is old at 28, if fucking as me and you had in our 40s.
Tell me about it. It'd be like the UK version of Uncle Drew.
Except we're shit.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Reggie Miller character, except before he takes his glasses off.
Exactly.
I'll come out dressed as Will Ferrell from Semi Pro with the socks.
Yeah. There's mileage in this. We need to speak to the league about this.
That's amazing.
Hey, I've got to play on Thursday night. It's parents versus team.
Nice.
Mystics 2.
Dads v lads.
Well, dads v lasses, I guess.
Lasses, yes, sorry.
But I'm telling you, I'm scared because, they're good and I'm not anymore.
You are good, and you are a winner, remember.
Yeah, you're a winner. Take your medal. Wear your medal when you play.
That's a good idea, actually.
You might take one of them out. Swing the medal around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
enough of this. Fellas, questions from the listeners. First one, and I've done it again. I've written them down, but I've not written who asked them, so I apologise for that. At me, or at the below the pod, whatever you want to do. First question might be easy to answer. Here's a question: when are you going to live stream the podcast? Now, obviously, if we do a road trip, we'll live stream from that. But specifically to do a show,
you have a live studio audience.
Well, I'd have to pay.
We need to do that thing, like on Instagram where you can join a live. I wonder if we could do that somehow.
Yeah, I was thinking that, I could actually pay for Zoom for 1 month, and we could just have loads of different people in the Zoom and mute them all,
That'd be cool.
and set ourselves up as the gallery, as the presentation gallery, which is possible.
That'd be cool.
That'd be good.
But Instagram could be good because we don't do a lot on Instagram. I say we. I don't do a lot on Instagram.
Paul can get us on TikTok with his huge ass following.
Yeah. What? They follow his ass? But in answer to that, I mean, if we just did a live podcast one night, I mean, it wouldn't be impossible to do by any stretch of the imagination. We'd have to watch what we say because some bits get cut out of this podcast that are not for broadcasting. That's whet your appetite there, isn't it, people? Yeah.
It's also worth noting that sometimes we're still going on past midnight, so
yeah, there's that as well. We'd certainly have to start it probably a little bit earlier in the evening. Although I know a lot of our fanship have children, so they'd probably want them to be in bed before we started, kind of thing. So we'd probably start even later. But there you go. So it's definitely in the pipeline. We'll definitely look at doing something like that soon. Next question. This was off the back of a fairly large thread going on in our Discord channel between a few guys regarding the Eagles and Ramon Fletcher, but in particular. But the ultimate
there it is.
The ultimate end of it was, I guess,
I just need to tick it off the Ramon Fletcher mention. Tick.
Well, it's not. Well, it'll get better. In my response to this question, I guess what the question is how it's worded. I guess the question for the show is: would the Eagles be in contention for the playoffs with Fletch suiting up? What do we think, fellas? Oh, go on, Grant. Not a chance.
No, nah.
I've sliding doors moments for this, but as it stands right now, go on, Grant.
Fletch in that team.
If Fletcher's on that team from the start of the season,
nah, no chance.
Nicholson?
Yeah. He doesn't just change the ability of the team; he changed the mentality of the team. He gets the best out of people. Like, I don't see there's anyone on that team who will get the best out of their teammates right now. He will get the best out of them. Like, in training, on the court. Like, it's not just about his stats. I feel it's about the impact that you have on everybody else.
But then what happened last season? What happened last season?
Very true. They did only just miss out on the playoffs, but they had some injury issues and players come and go.
Is it safe to say that last season's roster wasn't that good, apart from him? I know.
So what's the difference this season?
More bodies, more athletic, better players.
More points on the board last season, if that's anything to go by.
Ben Montford is meant to be GB international. Do you think Ramon could probably get the best out of him? That's what I'm saying. Like, you got a combo. You got Ben Montford and Ramon as your one and your two.
There's some way to go.
Best out of both those players. Then it's a different story, right?
There's some way to go in the season. I get what you're saying, Grant. No, the way it is at the moment, it's very, very downbeat, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any kind of turnaround. But I
think last year's Eagles team would beat this year's Eagles team, and you could say they're more athletic, maybe better individual players, but
Ramon's on that team.
But I don't think Ramon would then make a huge...
If you swap David Cohn for Ramon, I think that's a different... You're talking about a different story. And we're talking about a team last season that Ramon was on that only just missed out on the playoffs. I know they missed out on the playoffs, but as it stands at the moment, this Eagles team looks like it's going to miss the playoffs by a mile.
So I would say this... But how does then someone like a Javion Henry, Hamlet, who seems to be a guy that kind of goes one-on-one, how would... this whole Eagles team to me looks like a team that doesn't have identity. Does adding Ramon bring identity that through Struttle isn't really what they're looking for?
Possibly.
Like, I feel as if this Newcastle team just have loads of different bits. They're yet to kind of find themselves out. You add Ramon would just be as frustrated as David Cohen. David Cohen's an experienced point guard. He's at times thrown his hands up in the air as if like, what the hell's going on?
Adam, man, let's get you in on it. Does Ramon make the difference to?
I don't know, man. I mean, Ramon is the man. Let's face it, he is the man. And yes, he makes players around him better. Yes, he is a leader. Yes, he scores a lot of baskets. Yes, the player side of it is not in question. Now, was it part of Stutel's decision that he didn't return to Newcastle?
Possibly, he maybe wanted a fresh start. We don't
Right, okay.
know.
So if that was the case, then we can't really have this conversation because you'd have two guys that don't necessarily see eye to eye with one another, maybe. Or you might have a head coach that...
You may have conflicts, yeah.
Yeah. So there's too many intangibles with it. I mean, Ben Mockford's been coming under a bit of fire this week. I saw him on Twitter. Was it in our group that somebody...
From Eagles fans, isn't it?
From Eagles fans. And I mean...
Not impressed with his performances.
I mean, I thought it was a bit harsh, to be honest, because Ben Mockford... Okay, there's an argument to say is Ben Mockford, you sort of star scoring guy on that team.
Well, he's
probably
not.
No,
but that's not his role, is it?
No, it's not. Mockford's an out-and-out shooter. Okay. Yeah. Now we saw what he did in that big game in Newcastle, where he went mad for GB, and he's got a lot of kudos from that, and rightly so because he was immense that night. When he's on, he's on. The guy can shoot the lights out. But you can't rely on a shooter like Ben Mockford to be a leading scorer, because I think it was actually who said it once. He summed up it might have been Josh Bett, actually. He made a good point saying when you're a player like Ben Mockford, you either have a great game or not a great game. You're a shooter. It's either happening or it's not. Okay, you can't expect a guy to be. It reminds me of the dreaded season for the Giants when they went 0 whatever it was.
With Kadiri.
No, the one after where they didn't win a single game, where Ingus Bankovic was leading the team in scoring, averaging sort of 17 a game. Ingus was coming off the court shaking his head going, I do not want to be the leading scorer on this team. Yeah. It's not what I do. And he was having to shoot the lights out. But in fairness, Ingus was a good player at penetrating and getting into if he needed to. Mockford isn't that kind of guy. But it goes back to my original point that he's coming under a lot of fire for not doing the job that he's not supposed to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never been his role, is it?
Well, I mean, he's your guy. I mean, sometimes you look at, he starts a lot of GB games, and I'm sort of going, would I start Mockford? Probably not. He'd be my 6th or 7th man. I'd send him out there, get me some buckets, rally the troops, whatever it is that he's going to do.
Yeah.
But at Newcastle, at his club level, he has to be in the starting 5. Because he's one of the best players that they've got. There's bigger disappointments up there than Ben Mockford. And I referenced Donovan Johnson because I thought that he'd actually have a bit of a breakout season this year when he came over, because
I thought it was a sure thing. Yeah.
Well, when he was in Manchester, he was playing 3rd or 4th fiddle to guys that were, I don't know if I want to say better than him, but it wasn't, I've said this a million times, it wasn't until Hexam and Brady left that he became a useful part of that team and stepped up a little bit. But his numbers this year, he's averaging, 6 points a game, couple of rebounds. It's not, so you might want to be looking at your guys that are going to be earning, the bigger money in the club, your imports that everybody expects to be throwing down the numbers. And he's not doing it.
Well, and let's look at this. You see the new guy, French,
right?
Looks like an NFL player.
Yeah, big dude.
This is a problem that I pointed out last time. French import player, big dude, 12 minutes a game.
Doesn't seem right.
Everett import forward, 13 minutes a game, 0 points. French 4 points. Kennedy import 5 points. Cone import 6 points.
Yeah, it is British passport.
To the point. Who Cone is?
Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy. My bad.
Well, here's the thing: if we're gonna, I'm not going to start sort of, reeling off names of people. I'm just looking at their numbers here. Who's their leading scorer?
Hamlet.
Hamlet. And what's the average in a game? Let me see.
Was it 17 points before?
19.
All right, which isn't, that's not a bad scoring average, the BBL, that's your sort of numbers.
Top 10, I think,
before you sort of start naming and shaming the players, and I know that I've just done that, and I'm not shaming Donovan Johnson because I've seen he's a very good player. You've got to be sort of looking at it going, Stootle got a lot of, how can I put this? Well, there's no other way, smoke blown up his ass because of what a great job he did for GB.
Yeah.
And, that's great when you're working with a talent pool like you're working with. But the BBL is a different type of gig because you've got to, use your resources differently. You've not got 20 superstars to choose from. You've got 4 roster spots for imports. Then you've got to get a couple of decent British guys. Then you've got to have your bench. And, for a rookie coach, it's probably difficult because I don't know whether he's done recruitment before. I'm sure he's done a lot of scouting and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
but,
tough.
It's kind of like if you're going to start naming and shaming, you've got to be sort of going, all right, well, it's your head coach that's picked these guys. It's your head coach that's putting these guys out on the floor. So
this is me personally as well. I guess we all did to a degree. Took some flack and were accused of being disrespectful when we said things like Mark Stewart is an unknown entity at this level at the BBL because we've not seen him do this. We've seen what he did for GB. Fantastic, but this is completely different. Your pool of players is the world, and now you've got to recruit players within that and get them to come and play for you.
See, here's a number for you. Just looking down their actual stats, Mockford's averaging 5.7 points a game. Now, Mockford's game is 3-point shooting, so he's averaging less than 2 3-point shots a game.
Is that not because he's been required to do other things now?
Well, maybe, because he's getting 20 minutes a game, so you don't know. But then you're looking at the rest of the scoring load on there. After Hamlet, you're right down to Johnson averaging 11.6 and Varner averaging 10.3.
Varner's not even on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Right, okay. But you've always got to have, in the BBL, you've got to have a guy that averages 20 to 25 points and a guy that averages 13 to 16 points.
I agree.
But you've also got to have guys that, with those averages on any given night, one of them gives you between 25 and 30, and then the other one gives you between 15 and 20. And then you've got your guys giving the 8 to 10 points. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of how it has to work on a basketball team, especially in the BBL. And Newcastle's stats, they're just not there. I mean, was it last week we were looking at it saying that they just haven't got anybody figuring in any of the categories?
No.
So
my thing on them, and you guys began to touch on it last week's show, like the letter from the owner, the managing whoever Paul Blake is these days for them, was very much of like, oh, we were good. We were very good. All right, but what about now? What are you doing to change things? We said it before in here, like you've had this blank canvas and you seem to have changed your canvas a few times in terms of players coming in. Like, 10 imports used. You've now got Kyle Johnson. You've got Denzel Bibiario. You've got Ben Mockford. You've got quality players there who it just seems as if it's just they'll throw different 5 guys at teams every week. And you know what? They look good for 30 minutes or 35 minutes against Caledonia, but they still didn't win.
Yeah.
Defoe should not be being their main guy. And that's not here. Darius is amazing. What he's able to do and put his body through now at his age and how he's performing in season 19.
No, I agree with you. And playing him, whilst I'm not questioning his fitness levels or anything like that, but playing him for 20, 25 minutes a game, you can't expect that out of a 19-year veteran.
No.
Regardless of how good he still is, because we all know that Darius is, the guy's a legend. His place is firmly sealed in BBL history.
But Father Time is undefeated, yeah.
But it's that one where guys like him at that age, you're looking for more. You're looking for him to be the big leader on the bench and the guy giving you
impact. Come in and impact.
10, 15 minutes of solid Darius basketball.
Oh, well, like Mike Tuck did last season. Come in, turn the game.
Yeah, a Tuck type guy. These veteran guys still have a place on a team, no doubt. I mean, Callum Jones has proven that this year with the Giants. He's fitted in really nicely to what Vince is doing. But these guys,
well, he looks in a better basketball mind as well, getting some good minutes and really contributing to a team and knows his role. I like it.
But if you ask these guys a lot of the time when they get to a certain age or point in their career, do they want to be playing this? And I know a lot of players in the WBBL who still get asked to play, and have been great players at club level and country who just don't want to play 30 to 35 minutes a game because their bodies aren't capable of doing that and giving the same production as they used to. They're saying, okay, I want to play, but I want to play 15 minutes and contribute that way. And it's got to cross over into the men's game as well, because you're going to get guys that are going, look, I still want to be part of the roster. I want to be part of the team and playing, but I want to give you 10 or 15 solid minutes.
I want to be able to walk by the time I'm 50.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to make this my last season because I've got no choice but to play 25 minutes in a game. And, I'm having to carry the can for these young guys.
Nicholson, get ready to tick the box then, because this is my take on the question, which we've kind of strayed around. We've talked around the subject of it. We got heavy into the Eagles. So, my take on Ramon Fletcher, and would the Eagles be in contention were he there? My thing is more of a sliding doors type thing. If he's there from the beginning of the season, I don't think they would have had 10 American players come and go. When you're there with that kind of guy, with Ramon, I don't think the amount of distribution he's going to give you, the atmosphere he's going to put around the team, the identity, and that's a big word. That's a big thing we've been saying about a couple of teams in the BBL at the moment who don't really know what their identity is because of the coming and going, but because of the change in coaching as well. Now, it is commendable, let's be honest, for if this is the case, for Mark Stewart to say, we're going to go from scratch. What Ramon's done for the Eagles is fantastic, but we're going to go from scratch. This is going to be my team. I'm going to run this team. What I think would have been a better idea would have been to keep Ramon, use that stability, if you like, because we know, looking at it from season to season, how hard it is to recruit players, and particularly how hard it is to get it right. You need a good point guard in this league, and Ramon Fletcher is a sure thing. We've seen what he's done since going to Manchester, and we've talked Manchester dropping down the table, but they're in a situation where they've not played as many games. Let's talk again when they've played 5 more and see where they're at. But I think, yes, the sliding doors factor is if Ramon's there from the start of the season, you don't have all the coming and going, and you have a team identity, and then you are in contention for the playoffs, as opposed to being miles away from the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to be top 3. I'm not saying they're going to be 7th, 8th even, but they're in contention for that 7th and 8th spot if he's there.
I think just listening to you all there and listening to ads especially, it's just got me thinking, like, one thing Mark Stoutal hasn't done is recruited at the pro level. You look at his resume and look at his coaching, tactical, technical, people person, all that stuff. Tick, 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 tick. No doubt about it. Very good coach. He hasn't recruited at the pro level.
No.
And what team has had the biggest rotation of players in and out?
Newcastle, yeah.
What hasn't he done? Recruited at the pro level before.
Sure. And that's not disrespectful. That is fact.
It's not. It's just
how it is.
No, that's the thing. We can get all het up, or people can get het up going, oh, that's disrespect. It's not. No. That is a fact. That's on paper.
Go on, Grant. Quickly, we'll move on to the next question.
So I 100%. So this is almost an agreement with that. And that. So why has he been allowed to almost be like, try, but it's fine because we'll just let you keep turning over players. And we get players don't work. We get players don't work in situations, failing income. But there's so much tape. There's so much sources out there. You can learn so much about guys so quickly through the web that if, for example, if PJ wanted to go and get a new, I don't know, wingman because X, Y, Z reasons, he'd be able to find out a lot about a character of a player with one or two phone calls. It amazes me that a team of Newcastle's kind of history, backing, which we would always perceived a lot of good resources there from recruitment.
You would have thought
from connections with Fab or Dave Forrester or whoever else has been involved in their recruitment before, things would have been better for Mark coming in, and there would have been a bit more
support. Yeah.
A bit more support. It seems to have been, whether it was him or maybe this has been someone else's recruitment, and this is Mark going, no, I don't like these guys, and actually now these are his guys, and he's almost got to make this team work now. Yeah. And pre-season's playing games. Who knows? But there's something just not right.
He was never an assistant coach in the BBL, was he?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No, he came straight from T-side to GB to this. See, with the BBL, I've always believed that in order to become a head coach, you've got to have done at least a couple of seasons as an assistant coach to learn some of the ropes for all these reasons. Don't know if anyone agrees. That's just always been my take on it.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily assistant, but maybe a player or someone who's been involved in
or a player.
Some involvement,
that's been around for for example, Darius. If he became the head coach,
which is what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, but because of what we just said there, you wouldn't sort of go, that's a bit weird, because I mean the guy's been around that long, and his connections with guys like Fab and whatever are going to be perfect for recruiting. Look at Gareth Murray, okay? Gareth Murray, when he became the head coach, none of us said, oh, well, maybe he needs to get a bit. No, Gareth Murray's, if he's wanting to be a coach, let him be the head coach of that team.
And they've kept some identity there as a result of that as well.
Yeah, my vote would be let Darius become the head coach at some point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
What's also important, speaking from inside of being in a BBL program, is the relationships with a good agent.
Yeah,
that speaks volumes on your.
But with the years of success the Eagles had, you would have assumed that the systems were already in place, and that kind of thing is already there.
And I think as an organisation, at the same time, you have to give someone the opportunity to be successful. You also have to give them the opportunity to fail, especially if you're in a rebuild. Of course. And sometimes part of failing is your lesson, and you never know this could be the lesson.
He may well come good. Yeah,
because he can coach. There's no doubt about that.
There's one thing's for sure, though: it's not the Leisure Centre era anymore. It's not the team that can afford Charles Smith or Drew Sullivan that wins the league. It's a bit more to it than that now. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Bollocks.
It's still so early in the season. Like, we are still less than 20 games. We're not halfway through yet. Like, Newcastle could make a push. They could go. They're not going to. I wasn't saying
they won't. They won't. They won't.
No, what? Nah, they're not.
No, they're not.
If this is their roster now, then
they're too far gone.
Fellas, let's go. Let's go and come back.
Okay.
I'll go on quickly then.
I was going to say, isn't there a rule of how many players you can bring in and bring out in a season?
Well, we thought that, but they've had 10 overseas already. So.
I'm saying it used to be
8. I'm curious. I didn't know if there is or not. Someone might be able to answer that question for me.
All right, last two questions. We can't fit any more in. I don't think I wrote any more down anyway. But the question is, do we 100% know who's making the playoffs now? In terms of rhetorical question, don't we? Is that true? Is that fact? Do we know? Is this what it is now? Is the league what it is? Eagles and Scorchers aren't going to make it? Grant looks whimsical.
I mean, we've kind of just semi-talked about it, or I was about to start talking about it there. So I don't want to I'm not saying what it is because I'm normally wrong and it comes back to being like Grant looks stupid. But no, I generally think we've still got a lot of time to go from maybe 2 through till 10. It can drastically change. So I think we're a long way to go yet.
Stop the season now. I'll be happy. 4th. I'll take it.
Of course you will. Crack the top 4.
And I'll take those 2 falling out of the playoffs. It's fine. No problem at all. But I remember this time last year, we haven't even got a win under our name, and we still made the playoffs. So, I don't think it's over yet, as much as I would like it to.
With
Ads,
36 games, it's a long, long way to go.
oh god, yeah. Ads, my man, is it done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Ads. I agree. I don't think these guys are gonna make it now. I think it might be too far. If anyone does, I would have thought it'd be Surrey, but
Ooh.
well, just
Like-
looking at their roster, it's a big old roster. If they can work that out,
They can manage it.
It's whether or not they can stay fit. They've got so many guys, but they seem to just always be hurt.
I want
Guys
to know what's up with Dean Wanless. The guy's a solid BBL player, and he must be injured or carrying an injury because he's listed as captain, but he hasn't played a minute since Cheshire, probably.
Have you got Dean Wanless shirt like your Ramon Fletcher?
No, why? Do I say that a lot?
Yeah.
I just find it really surprising.
No,
he comes out. He's out for warm-ups, you know.
You know what, Dean Wanless, I've seen Dean play for many years when he was here. He's a really useful player. He's a big guy.
He knows the league.
Dean Wanless, he's actually a pretty good shooter from outside as well.
He was good for them. Yeah.
When you see him in the sort of BBL standard scrimmages that they do in the summer, the guy, he's a good shooter. I agree.
I agree. Yeah,
he's a good guy as well. Dean's a really good guy.
So me and Ads are agreed that the league is not any above ninth, I guess, is up for grabs. But 9th and 10th, I think we're looking at a mountain to climb in a league where wins and whatnot are exchanged a little bit too regularly for them to kind of make any grounds, if you like. But Grant and Nicholson, it's not done yet.
Nah, because you got above it. I know obviously Manchester have got games in hand or whatnot, and obviously they're better than 8th place for sure. But they've only got 5 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, right? We just had a week where Patriots got 2 wins. You get 2 wins in a week.
Yeah, it's very true.
All we're saying here is you need one of those 2 teams to win 2 weeks in a row, and they're back in it.
Well, I think it's going to take a bit more than 2 wins. But...
No, I'd say more. I mean, look at it. If you look at the fact that Giants and Gladiators are both sitting right on 500 at the moment, whereas Surrey are what 1 and 11.
Yeah, 1 and 11.
1 and 11. Newcastle are 2 and 9. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they win some, they lose some. They're just losing games, and they're not losing games narrowly where it's like they were so close. It's like it's difficult. I've watched Giants teams you mentioned before the Kadiri season. Every one of them games, they were right in it. They just didn't know how to close it out. Surrey and Newcastle, it's just not. Nah.
Well, they play each other soon. That'd be interesting.
Well, won't that be a battle? I think Surrey will beat him. I think Surrey will win that game.
I think Surrey's got a bit more about them, but we'll see.
I think Surrey will win that game.
There we go. Last question. I do remember who this is from. This is from Alex Hill, who we had a photograph with his little girl after the game. Did we, Mr. Nicholson, sir?
Yeah, legend.
Fantastic work.
She's awesome. She is as well. She's amazing.
Big fan, apparently. I hope she doesn't listen to the show because we do swear a lot, and I did say that to him. But there you go. Favourite comms team. She should set our sights a little bit higher, but bless her. Thank you very much. That was great.
Comms team that done a 3-point shootout this season. League leaders.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Hope the CEO was watching.
There's a reason why comms people stay behind the camera. Anyway. So they haven't got to wear a suit. So this question is a long one, but last season, Patriots were winless going into the new year, but still qualified for the playoffs due to the massive bounce of energy received when Williams, Hassan, Simons arrived as imports to go along with the great defensive British talent that was already at the club. What possible bounce, in inverted commas, could Surrey or Newcastle receive to get anywhere near the playoffs, or is it just hoping their current roster start getting the job done? We've kind of talked around it a little bit, but what would it take? I mean, MJ coming out of retirement, what are we talking?
I was going to say, why don't you rewind the last 10 minutes?
But what would it take? If because we're out on it, me and Ads are out. So what do we think
So
what would have to
let's mention
change for
Surrey.
them to be able to get in?
If we say Surrey, we've focused a lot on Newcastle. So if we look from Surrey's point of view, they've just got
Sure.
one of the most talented British point guards back, who's been one of the most unluckiest players of injuries. And if they can get him firing both as a playmaker and as a scorer, they're going to get W's. You've got a team that will slowly find their identity over the next month with so many guys coming back. Lloyd's given guys all 20 minutes at the weekend and just lost out. 2 close games they played. So as he begins to know who he can trust, what his rotation is, is it Boban coming off the bench with Ryan Martin, is it Jefferson, is Andrew Lawrence going to start matches, Basumbro, Paddy Wang, like what's their combinations? So it's actually probably quite an exciting time to watch Surrey because they've got all these guys, they've got new guys in, and how they settle. So I think Surrey's bounce is the fact that if Lawrence is fit,
he's
then
a big
automatically
change.
bounce them up. So
Yeah, I was going to say Surrey just need to click. They've got talent. They've got talent to win basketball games on that team. No question about it. They click, they can win games. Newcastle, they've had 10 imports. Right? Is that right?
That's what that's the number
it's
we've
pre-season, yeah.
Realistically, with what they've got now, it's going to take a whole lot to get into the playoffs. But if they wanted to make another change, they would need to bring someone in with legit experience, legit ability, slap the others around a little bit and get them into shape and say, look, come on, guys, we ain't going out like this. But it's hard to see that just from the way it's been going.
Yeah.
But like, you imagine if they brought someone in, like, I know it's not going to happen, but imagine they brought Fletcher back, right? It's not happening. I get that. That's the sort of person that would be able to slap everyone around and get them back into a correct mindset.
Well, I've got a take on it.
Go on, Ed.
In the future, I'm not worried about Surrey if they stick to what they've got. In terms of, yes, they're loaded with talent at the moment, but an important thing that we've not touched on is the fact that Lloyd Gardner, as we know, is a wonderful coach. Dan Clark is now, I believe, the CEO of the Surrey Scorchers.
Yeah.
That's a nice combination of people as your CEO and your head coach, because that brings players. Yeah. Now, Dan Clark's not been in the position very long, so I think that next season will be a legitimate sort of rebuild for them, and they'll see what comes of this season, see if they can retain a few of the players that have performed well, and then build around that. I think that Surrey, if they stick with that combination of coach and CO, have got a pretty good chance of doing something a year or two down the line. I'm not saying they're going to, become the new Leicester or London or anything like that, but they've got a really good chance at being one of those teams in that cluster in the middle that are, scrapping around for fourth place or something like that.
And as well, there are rumours of league involvement with them, whether it's ownership or what. There could be no financial problems. Yeah.
Well, because at the moment they're the smallest team in the league, right? In terms of probably payroll, facility, whatever you want to call it.
I'd say Pats are up there with that as well.
Yeah, but you've got a big 2,000-seat arena,
which isn't cheap.
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
They haven't. They are still in a leisure centre. Okay. So
I get your point.
Let's be realistic about it. The Patriots, whilst they're probably not, you've not got endless pots of money and you've got a very expensive arena. You've got a huge fan base that come out every week to watch you, as do Newcastle, whereas Surrey have got a chance to really build on something. And if they keep a coach to the standard of Lloyd Gardner and a great guy in terms of his basketball knowledge of the sport and who he could potentially tempt to come play for his team, then Dan Clark's a good guy to have there as well. So with those two guys in position, hopefully they can start to put things in place. Let's not forget, last year, or was it the year before, Cam Hildreth was playing for the Surrey Scorchers.
Yeah.
And that guy's, now tearing up at Wake Forest. And I know it was an obvious place for him to go play, and it's not. But I'm just saying that there is potential for Surrey to do something.
There we are. Hopefully, go on, Grant.
No, I was just going to say, Surrey sell out most weeks, so they need to look for them to probably grow as a club. They need to look for it.
But when you've only got 12 seats in your arena, that's not difficult.
I know, but they need to then go find another 12.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it sounds like we're agreed that we think if possible, Surrey don't need to change anything. It's just got to click with the guys they've got, whereas the Eagles need kind of a miracle.
Have they still got Jalen Ray in their roster? Was he the one that was injured and they've just kind of silently stopped talking about him now that they've brought in Jefferson?
I think he's gone. I guess, maybe.
Because he's been hurt. He got injured and he's just not been mentioned since.
I mean, Josh Steele didn't play either, and he's,
He was on Twitter.
He's out injured, yeah.
He's got a thumb injury.
Let's move on to the BTR 5. We're going to throw some names out there. Our selections for the 5 best players since the Wednesday the 7th up till Sunday evening or Sunday night's matches. We pick them not specifically off index or anything particularly other than the fact that we think they've had a good game, winning or losing team. Take it away, fellas. Shout some names out.
Like that you basically all went for my picks last week that I sent and you're like, yeah, Grant's right. Grant's right.
I'm not going to go too far from actually what the BBL posted today, if I'm honest with you. I think Delpesh for Bristol was spot on. I've
not got him on my list.
11 offensive rebounds, ridiculous game when I watched that one. Whelan was insane.
Yeah,
he was absolutely fantastic. And then, Issa, brilliant game, 100%. Index was through the roof. Defensively,
he just had a solid game, all-round game.
Led the game in rebounds. Antonio picked up 2 double-doubles this week. Who else did they pick on their team? Oh, matey boy from Glasgow. Bailey, yeah.
I've got Bailey as well.
And
can you have Bailey after how poor he was Friday night?
Yes.
Yeah, but he had a hell of a game before that. After that, sorry.
Yeah, he was brilliant on Sunday, to be honest.
The only one else I would throw in that mix would maybe someone like Sharma.
Nah, their stats were all across the board, and I didn't feel like anybody in that team really. They didn't have anyone who needed to stand out in that game, which is where they suffer when it comes to things like this, I guess.
Yeah, true.
I got a couple of different shouts, or one different shout. My one different shout is Routinho. Now, that game against the Patriots, he played all 40 minutes. Defensively, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. He covered, I think, every single board in the arena in terms of floorboard, that is. He just was phenomenal. His index is, I guess this is testament to why we pick it this way. His index wasn't brilliant. I think his index was, hang on, I've got it here somewhere, 11. He didn't shoot the ball very well, that's why, but he finished with 9 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. He did get 4 turnovers. He also got the steal.
His plays were phenomenal.
He was 2 from 4 from the free throw, but he just, for me, I just wanted him on our team. Do you know what I mean? He's just one of those guys you think, they've made another defensive play. It's Routinho again. I just thought he was phenomenal. I don't know if you guys want to put him in or not.
He was good.
Who are we going for then? Ads, my man, you got any extra names or?
Yeah, my 5 was Pat Whelan, Issa Brandon, Jeremiah Bailey, Antonio Williams, and Malcolm Delpech.
Good reading of the BBL top 5 of the week.
Look, I told you at the top of the show, I'm way behind this week because I've been away all weekend coaching.
But that's a solid 5.
Oh, is that what we're going with then? Am I not? Can I not get Ratinho in there?
I would like to put in Defoe.
Who would you take out?
I'd put Defoe in.
He made the bench on the league's team of the week.
Who would I take? I'd take Del Pesh out because I think there were other guys on that team that stepped up as much as he did, if not more.
I suppose Del Pesh is there because he had a.
It's a stat. It's a standout stat. Yeah, it's a standout stat line. But you wouldn't watch that game and think, "Oh, Del Pesh is running the show right now." Thomas Bell, I thought had a better game. I thought he was incredible.
Defoe had a good game, but I think maybe we look at that one and go, "Oh, because it's Defoe, because he's a veteran, because he shouldn't be getting 20 and 5 and whatever he got." That's why we're like, Defoe, because it's tough.
But was he the reason they were still knocking on the door?
Oh God, yeah, of course he was, 100%. So yeah, he does deserve a shout. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Oof.
I would have my kind of top 3 guys are probably Bailey, Whelan, Defoe are kind of 3 that I would definitely like to see put in there.
So I've got Whelan, Issa, and Bailey, and Ratinho.
You're telling me you're taking Antonio out, are you? Is that what we're saying? Is that what you upset me with?
Yeah.
All right.
And I thought he had 2 great games.
Just to let you know, Antonio, if you're listening, mate, it's not my fault.
It is his fault. He's nodding. You can't see his face. Has anybody else got Antonio?
I have.
No, Ads has. That's 2. We need 2 more then. We got Whelan, Bailey, Issa. Who else we going for? No, I'll leave it to you guys. Go.
I want Defoe.
You want Defoe? Anybody else want Defoe?
I'll have Boomer before Defoe.
Ads?
2 double-doubles.
How about Love Island's Oli Soko?
Nah, not enough.
Antonio had 2 double-doubles. I'll go for him over Defoe.
All right, we'll put Williams in. We need 1 more. So we'll be looking at Del Pesh, Defoe, or
Ratinho.
Well, no one wants Ratinho except me, so that's not happening. Unless I take full control and just stick him in the list there. Nicholson, Defoe.
You can't start in that game.
Defoe, Del Pesh, or who was the other one? I've forgotten now.
Okay, I think based on I'll go LVC. No, based on what you guys just said, then Newcastle would not have been in with a shout without Defoe. I think Bristol still win the game without Del Pesh, so I go Defoe.
Ads?
Yeah, Defoe.
All right, Defoe makes up the 5th spot. Let's read that through because I'm confused as anyone else now. Whelan, Bailey, Issa Brandon, Antonio Williams, and Darius Defoe.
Darius also made that game last longer by hitting that 3 right near the end as well, didn't he?
There you go. He's in. Good. We don't go for the big standout stats like some other shows.
11 offensive boards. What's that?
What's that? You're just standing in the right place. Right. Let's move on to the final segment of the show. Predictions time. Let's take a look across last week's and see who got what and where that puts us. So, Pat Sharks, Pabs, Ads, Nicholson, all had the Pat, sorry. Grant had the Sharks. Drop one there. We all picked Flyers. And obviously Flyers came up. Trumps there. Now it gets tricky. So we've got Ads Riders, Nicholson Riders. Me and Grant had the Gladiators, and obviously that didn't come to fruition. All 4 of us picked the Pats, all 4 of us picked the Gladiators, and all 4 of us picked the Lions. Nicholson had a full house this week. I was 1 off a full house. Ads had a full house as well.
Yeah, Ads.
Well done, Ads.
Phenomenal stuff. So we're looking at, hang on, here we go, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 30, 34 for Nicholson, 30 for Grant, Ads is now on 29 for Ads. And I'm on 33, so Nicholson takes a 1 point lead.
I still think Ads needs a wee asterisk next to it.
Picking them after the results.
Yeah.
What does the winner get, by the way?
What's Kate over that? Oh, we'll work on that. We've got plenty of time left for the end of the season. We'll work something out. Depends if it's a runaway win, then it'll be nothing.
I don't think it is at the minute.
Something at the BBL final. £10 to spend on food. Well, I don't know.
I'll get you a slice of pizza at the O2.
It's the queue. I couldn't be bothered. We had a voucher when we went last time, didn't we? And I just couldn't be asked to queue up. Yeah, queuing up was miles long. I said, forget it. I'm going to miss the first half. Right, let's shuffle on to this coming week's fixtures in the BBL.
When are we recording up to? Are we going to go down to Leicester v Cali next Tuesday? Or are we just going up to Sunday?
Sunday's the week, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it to Sunday and then the Tuesday. Hang on. Right, I've gone too far ahead there. Hold on. So the Tuesday game is the cup game, like you say, Riders Gladiators, yeah?
That's a week on Tuesday, week tomorrow.
So we will have to record next Monday then to get that one in time or post them. We are also going to be trying to record the Christmas special around that time. Look out for that on Boxing Day. We'll have a little chat about that. I'll give you an insight as to what some of the questions might be coming up. But let's hit the predictions for next weekend. So hang on, still lost my page. There we are. So 16th of December. Newcastle Eagles at home. Leicester Riders, the visitors. Is this another Sky game? No, that would be the Lions. Would be the Sky game. Let's ignore that. So who are we picking? Eagles at home, Riders visiting. Ads, my man. What you got?
I'll take Riders, please, Bob.
Oh, we haven't got a blockbuster round. I should have thought about that. Grant, my man.
Riders.
Nicholson.
Come ride with me.
I'm going to zag. No, I'm not really. That'd be ridiculous. Riders. How weird would that be if the Eagles actually, after everything we've said today, the Eagles come out.
It's a blowout in Newcastle.
25-point win. It's not on Sky.
Mockford goes off for 50.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. I'd enjoy that. That'd be fun.
David Cohen, 30 assists.
Next game up. Sheffield Sharks, the home team. Manchester Giants finally got a game. The visitors. Ads, my man. Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm going to go Giants, but I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I always get nervous about playing Sheffield, especially away. But I'm relying on the fact that they have had a lot of time off, and they're going to want to get this 1-4 record sorted out pretty quickly.
Let's go Nicholson next.
Land of the Giants.
I'll go Giants as well. Grant, my man. Tempted to zag?
Always, but that totally backfired last week, didn't it? So I'm going to still. Oh, I don't know. Giants.
These predictions are going to work for me if I'm winning right now because everyone's picking the same thing.
They are, aren't they? Next up, Caledonia Gladiators, the home team. Cheshire Phoenix, the visitors. Start with Grant.
Gladiators at home look good, so Gladiators.
Let's go Nicholson.
Glad you came.
I love it. Good. Ads, my man.
Caledonia love.
Oh, I like that one.
That was good.
I think the puns are getting worse, aren't they? And Josh isn't even here. Just think what Josh would be coming up with. I'll go Gladiators as well. So far, we're picking across the board. It's getting a bit tactical now. Lions at home. Flyers visiting. Flyers have already beaten the Lions once this season. Can they do it again? Can they do it again, Ads?
See, I'm playing the tactical game now because I'm behind in the...
Ooh, early risking.
No, I'm going to play safe. Lions.
Imagine you said Bristol.
Yeah.
Grant, my man.
Yeah, London, man.
Nicholson.
The Lions will not sleep tonight. They will win.
Oh.
They will roar.
I thought it was a big zag. I'm going to do a big zag. Flyers. Let's go, Flyers.
You should get into designing posters for the games, Paul.
I think so.
The Lions will not sleep tonight.
So I've zagged on that one, although I feel bad about it already because the Lions are pretty much on fire right now in every competition they're in. So I may live to regret that one. Scorchers at home. Newcastle Eagles, the visitors. Wow.
Draw.
I mean, where do we go with this one? I'm going to go...
A draw.
I'll go Surrey. Adds my man. Scorchers or Eagles?
I'm going to go Surrey. I think it's a good opportunity for them to get a W, and I like the style of basketball that they're playing. Surrey.
There's a lot to play for there as well. They're playing not to be at the bottom anymore. Grant, my man.
Looking at the time, it says 1 p.m. tip. Newcastle play Friday. That game's Sunday. Is that anything in that for travelling? So I'm going to go Surrey.
And Mr. Nicholson, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, is he going to zag? The man in the lead.
He's thinking I can build my lead here.
He's a point in the lead. You may need...
Eagles will fly high.
What?
Eagles.
You're going Eagles?
Yeah.
He's bowed to peer pressure, everyone.
Eagles.
And then the reverse fixture. We're going up to the 19th, aren't we? The reverse fixture for the Flyers and Lions. Flyers at home this time. Lions on the road. I'll go Lions. I'll go Lions for this one because according to my...
Yeah, don't worry about our game, mate.
Have I missed one out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, the way everyone was talking, we were going into Christmas with a winning...
No. I think it was just you.
No, it wasn't just me. It was the guy. Every interview I did, going into Christmas on a win. Well, maybe they were specifically meant a home win. But anyway, Sharks at home, Patriots, the visitors. Nicholson.
LVC Dusha is off fishing, and we will take that W.
Good. Grant.
Ask Gads first. I don't know yet.
Adds my man. I'll go Pats as well. Grant.
Or play catch up, Grant.
I know.
Went Sheffield last time.
I know I did, but I don't know why I did because I was zagging. So I'm not zagging. I'm going Pats.
Interesting stuff. Right, now the reverse fixture. Flyers at home, London Lions on the run. I'm going to pick Lions on that one because, as I was going to say, according to my predictions, Lions will be pissed off at losing to the Flyers earlier and will want revenge on their own court. Add to my man.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Flyers.
He's gone the other way. Good.
Yeah,
Grant.
I like it.
London are not going to drop 2 games in a row at Bristol.
Nicholson.
Lions, yeah.
And that's it, isn't it? Because then we're looking at the 21st, which is the Cup. What's that now? Semi-final? Riders Caledonia Gladiators, which will be one to look out for. But we'll predict that next week on next week's show. But the predictions are in the book, so we shall close that spreadsheet immediately. And there we are. That pretty much brings us to the end of the show. Ads, mate, thanks for joining us. Anything to plug or anything before we shuffle off?
Not massively, no.
Good man.
No, I don't think so.
Keep it brief.
Keep it
Nicholson,
real.
my man, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Mr. Grant, go on. Sorry, go on. He's got some
You
more.
didn't ask me if I had anything to plug.
Well, I left a gap. You know, like we do on the commentary, I leave a gap. Sometimes you never say anything because you're looking at your phone, but there you go. I'll say sorry, leave a gap, and I'll sort of look out the corner of my eye. Oh, he's looking at his phone. I'll carry on then.
I got nothing to plug.
Not even Ant Row coming to town, taking your job.
Yeah, cheek of him. 28th of December. Ant Rowe, stomping back to Plymouth, broad shoulders, pushing me off my commentator's chair, taking my spot. No, he did phone me and ask me really nicely, to be fair, so I'll let him off.
I feel like I'm under pressure for that one. Like it's I'll
be on the camera, so I'll take loads of pictures of you.
No disrespect, Paul, but it's a proper commentator coming in. I don't know what I'm going to
do. I get that.
I mean, that's me. That goes on me as well.
You're going to have a halftime shootout with Ant Rowe?
Yeah, he's not a great 3-point shooter, was he?
No, to be fair, no, he wasn't.
we might make him a little hype video as well for halftime. We'll see how it goes. Grant, my man, any podcast in the canon?
Well, I never got to promote my Prince Onwas one, so
yes, yeah.
If you get a chance, have a listen to that. That was good fun. He's an absolute baller. He's a good dude, so that was good. And then hopefully some other things coming out over the festivities if all things go to plan from the podcast.
We probably need to do another podcast, actually.
Another Plymouth City Patriots. We should probably get one in before Christmas if we can. But looking at the Below the Rim Christmas special lineup.
Woohoo! This is exciting.
The quiz.
Very excited.
This could be the best thing ever.
The quiz features a number of rounds. It features an estimations round where we'll look at scorers, perhaps. We'll look at some assists records, some team stats from certain years where the guys will have to guesstimate an amount nearest wins, that kind of thing. We've also got a University Challenge section of the show where there'll be starter questions, which will then open you up to 5. So it'll be starters for 5, not starters for 10. We'll be there all night.
I think I'm going to be awful at that.
Starters for 5, which will open up different categories, which will involve various different things, BBL-wise. I try not to make it all about the past, although there's a lot of historical questions to it. I'm trying to bring some more modern stuff to it. We're also going to do Guess the Squad, where we'll pick a squad pick maybe 2 squads from certain years, and you basically go one after the other, picking a name from that squad. You have like 2 lives. When you're out, winner takes all.
Paul, is this one of these things me and you might need, as the 2 younger members, need to get together and gang up on like ads and pabs here from the who are used to the old-fashioned arena days?
Well, we're trying to get
centre foes might need to stick together.
If we can do it, we're going to try and have North v South. So it'll be Ads and Grant, old and young, going up against Nicholson and Josh Bett. Josh has given us, so far, so we've got, in terms of the mastermind round, which will be possibly the final round, depends how time goes. We might have a general knowledge round on the end as well. We'll see. Nicholson's specialist subject, Patriots from 2012 till present. Josh Bett's specialist subject, Thames Valley Tigers and London Towers, pretty much while his old man was there coaching. Grant Young's category will be the Rocks from 2012 to 2017. And Ads brought his in recently. I may as well do Giants till 2002. So, and I did ask if it was going to be the Olympic City Giants as well, but no, you're not having that, are you? Just Manchester Giants.
Yeah.
Even though you had, and I did put this in it as well, nobody reacted. This is how old I am. You had Terry Crosby, who played in the NBA and played in college with Bernard King.
Yeah, we also had Michelle Obama's brother.
Very true, yeah. Very true. There'll be some, yeah. Anyway, Nicholson, go on then.
It's been discussed, but are we going to, be in festive wear and have, a mascot with us as well?
Do it. All the more, because we will put the video evidence of this out there as well.
Really? Okay.
Mascots, yes. Christmas jumper, no.
Mascots with a little backstory, yeah.
I just took mine off to put a house hoodie on, so I feel like I should have had mine on today. I've had mine all day at work.
Good stuff. I got mine on now as well. There you go. Couldn't see it before, but there we are. Anyway, that'll do it from us. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks, fellas, for joining me. Until next week, take it easy, and we'll speak to you soon.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call.